right. I'm trying. I'm professional these days. I'm able to angle my camera a little better. I'm trying to be more professional. Alright, today I'm going to be doing Balrog from Lord of the Rings, one of my favorite movies. Who doesn't love J.R. Tolkien? My God, he's awesome. He's one of the best writers. He really is. He's a truly beautiful writer. Oh, hello, how you doing? Today is Balrog, Lord of the Rings Day. I do love J.R. Tolkien. I love his writing. Interesting fact about J.R. Tolkien. Hello, how you doing? He was a Harvard professor, and it took him 10 years to write them all. The more peaceful person I know. And I'm always over about peace over here. Because why not? If you're not peaceful, no one really wants to listen to you because you have this chaotic energy. I should receive the title. I've been doing a bullshit to be able to pretty much go about my own way and not let people bother me. I have a daughter-in-law that likes to bother me because I work weekends, as you all know, because this is why I can't a lot of times live stream. And they want to know why I pick to work weekends. My older son and his wife. They don't understand that people need money. So I'm supposed to change my schedule when this woman is ridiculous. So if this evil thing does not bother me, nothing bothers me. And I am not the problem in their relationship. It is totally her. And just because she's pregnant, she acts like the whole world is ending. Apparently there was a party that she keeps having these parties because she's pregnant. And it was, I don't even know what this one was about, but she's not even 4 months pregnant yet. But anywho, my younger son came over and they wanted to listen to 80s music. You know, it's a party. You figure, okay, let your people listen to their music. She goes and tells everybody, I guess, apparently at this party. Because it's always on the weekends, so thank God I work weekends. She goes and tells all the guests, they're not allowed to listen to 80s music because she doesn't like it. And it's her party. So, yeah. If I can avoid that evil, heinous thing, I can avoid anything. And these are true facts. Balrog's wings are so long. I may have to do like a side view. I don't know if I can get his. I don't know if I can get his other wing in, but I'm going to try. But yeah. Oh, hello, Allie. How are you doing? But yeah, I deal with this all the time, and she hates my guts, and she hates Chong. And we all know how I feel about Chong. If you hate Chong, I am not your friend. Because she says I train Chong not to like her. I don't train Chong for any such things. Yes, he is trained as a service dog. Yes, he is trained to bite. Because I did have the cops help me train Chong because I couldn't afford it around COVID time, my service dog training. So they helped me. And when they helped me, they did do a little other stuff, the canine unit. So he knows when it's time to go, he knows how to corner people. She came over the house. Are they old dark souls? Some are entities, and some beings are from other planets. Well, that's I guess a complicated subject, but a good one. Now, dark souls, they're just beings that are brought forth, of course, because they have made their penance with God. And sometimes when you're dark, you don't feel like being a light bulb. And it's just like some people prefer to see a happy light. There's some beings that made their peace with God, but God knows that they don't like light things. So there's some things that have been put on this earth, yes, that are dark, and God lets it slide. God has free will. He respects you for what you are. God respects me for what I am. I'm dark, but I'm here to help because my soul has done penance. My mother was dark. She still is dark, but she has done her penance. And once you do your penance with God, if you choose whatever form you were born to, that's your family. And dark beings don't like to be separated from their families. Just like people from the light don't like to be separated from their families. So I guess in essence, it's really not any different. I guess the only difference is some beings haven't made their peace with God. And these guys can be very nasty. That they can. So sometimes God needs help with these things. So things that we perceive are bad are neutral because God takes care of these things. Because God always does have his day. But in the end, dark people have a family. And usually they got a passion for animals. Every dark soul I know loves animals. People in the dark, are they considered that their true family is what those are saying? People of the dark, would they accept the light? But at the same time, I guess they're not going to be sitting there and praying all day long. I do respect. Oh, I gotta get his horns perfect. I do respect the light, and I want them to be able to pray and stuff, but I guess I feel more connected to my own people. Just such as the light feels more connected with angels and stuff. I'm just not connected with angels like that. I don't hate them, but at the same time, they're not fans of dark souls that came back from redemption. And I guess that's okay. This is when the light souls sometimes turn bad. I mean, you have Lucifer. He's a nice, I think he's a good soul, but he did turn dark for a little bit because he was jealous. Because people from the light think just because they go to church, everything's okay. No, it's not, my friends, not at all. If you are from the light and you show a lot of jealousy and things like that, and then you try to say in the name of God that, I went to penance, but you still show jealousy and you say you have to worship my God and that's it, you are entering the realm of sin. And it's a slippery slope because God doesn't like that either. And when you come back from redemption, your soul from God, you respect free will. And you will fight for light or dark as long as free will is being preserved. Because this is what you should be doing. And there's some religions out there that some of the radicals will tell you, no, you got to do this, you got to worship this circle, that circle, and it's absolutely wrong. God is not about that. But people that have come back from redemption from the dark keep their families, and they got like a truce, I guess you could say. Because God needs help. He absolutely does. There's all kinds of bullshit going on in the earth today. I got the outer sketch of him going here. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Anybody that could sit there and torture dogs that in the name of God and do all of this stuff and then sit there and do all this human trafficking and then go to church afterwards. These are sick beings to me. You can't do this kind of stuff. You can't. And these are what some people do, and they'll rape, murder, kill in the name of God. And they think they're doing all these great things. No, you're not. If you took away some little girls' will to live, torture them, you're doing blasphemy against God. And sometimes in these cases, that's when God steps in and dark souls are brought forth and allowed to go in human vessels to protect people. They are. They will go in the low astral to physical type, and some of them escaping. Yeah, they can. But it's all from permission from God. You cannot come in this realm without permission from God. When God turns against you, that's it. Game over for your ass. I will tell you that much. I have seen the wrath of God before. I'm a very peaceful dark entity because I'm a very old soul. That's why I can see things and I can see the dead, but I have seen God's wrath through other beings and stuff, and it's not pretty. Yeah, you guys, from the light, see the God is a really good person, but when God's people are being attacked and being tortured, God can't kill. That's the thing. People really, he can't, because he's God. I am hanging up on him, my older son. But anyways, God, he can't kill anybody. So, hence, he asks for help. And when he asks for help, it's usually, selected dark beings that are given free reign. And, they start their little stuff, and it's all within And they do it because God asked them to. And they do it for God sometimes. And people don't realize that at all. So that's where it gets complicated sometimes. That's why I tell everyone to be nice and do not take away anybody's free will. Because God does not like this. Nor should he. Because why would anybody want their free will taken away? I wouldn't want mine. You can choose the opposite path, yeah, but the opposite path could be for protection. You could be a warrior of the dark. That you can. There's always that. God always has warriors. And these warriors can be dark or light. And you could choose to execute this kind of stuff being dark or light. And it's totally okay. Because these are your choices. But dare I say, do not touch his holy people that are doing well. Because, or get a big head and hurt the innocent. You hurt the innocent, God's wrath is all over the place. I personally love the innocent. I think, because everyone has kids, dark and light. And to me, I think everybody should be good because you have children. Even if you don't have children in this lifetime, in another lifetime you've had children. And this is the God's honest truth. I have more than 2 kids. It was in a past life. Hence, since these kids were born, they are still of your bloodline. You just didn't get to give birth to them in this lifetime, but they're still your bloodline. So, keeping that in mind, it's just not a good thing. You really just do not want to have that kind of vengeance on you, I guess. Because vengeance can hurt your soul. It will make you dark. And if you're not already kind of a dark soul to begin with, it's hard for people to handle this kind of darkness. Because this kind of darkness can consume you. That's why certain people that were kind of born into it, these are the people that can handle darkness and feel it and not be affected. So, I guess that's the difference. Alright, I got the outline done. I thought it would be a lot harder than this, but apparently it's not. But I guess that would be the difference. And really, when you're chosen for anything, just like priests, they're chosen to, God chooses his priests. I mean, it's just the way, I don't know why. God just does what God does. But I don't hate God. I see him as, people have to be born. People have to do good things, and I don't like when people murder people. I don't like, it's one thing if it's self-defense and they've turned rogue, but until somebody's turned rogue and really done a lot of hurtful things, I feel that's when judgment should be made. Because how do you know? There's a lot of people that, are falsely accused and put in prison because of people, just because they don't want to fess up, Or they don't want to go to jail themselves and they don't want to admit to their own sins, so they cover it up, and the innocent suffered. And this, in fact, pisses off God. It really does. And greed. God does not like greed. Not at all. That's why Lucifer fell from heaven, my friends. Greed and worrying about your own skin will not give you good intentions in heaven. I have no problem with dying. As long as I'm dying for a good cause, I'm absolutely okay with it. And I would die for the innocent. I won't die for somebody that's suppressing the innocent. No, I would not. I have seen death, and death told me that it did not want me, and I still had work to do. Maybe it's to give awareness of the realm. I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but this is my mission in life, I guess you could say. And I don't regret any of it. To me, it's what I am. It's what I do. I try to help, educate, so people can have a better pathway when they die. I will tell you, when you die, you gotta let go of things that you love. You have to. Because when you do die, there's a book, because I was reading about this book they have on YouTube. It's thousands of years old. And there's a lot of truth to it. You got to let go of your earthly ties. Because earthly ties are very important to let go. Because everybody, folks, has to die. I have died a couple times, came back. And when your time comes, your time comes. And that's it. And there's nothing wrong with it, but some people are afraid. Oh yeah, everybody does go to the source. Everybody does. And God doesn't judge. He doesn't. He don't judge if you're good or bad. He judges your intentions. That's why people that are angelic fall sometimes. That's why your world leaders in this vessel that judge and oppress people, and they have no good intentions. That's why sometimes they get punished. Don't hang up on them, shoot. But yeah, this is pretty much how the realms go, and it's nothing to be afraid of. I mean, we're here talking to one another. Because I don't know, I just feel connected to it, because I feel that if I didn't go to this path of trying to help people and bring people to light, I feel that my mother would have no peace. I choose to stay dark for my mother, because that's my mom. My mom is dark. But I balance her. And I would not balance my mother if I was not dark. I wouldn't. So, I guess that is one reason that I stay the way I am, because you got to take care of your mom. She's very peaceful with me, just staying just like I am and balancing her out. She doesn't do any harm to anybody in this realm. She actually tries to help, which is good. And she's one with Lilith. So, I mean, there's nothing better than that, and I don't want my mom to be of any harm. So I've made, I guess when I died, I chose to stay dark because my mother would go berserk. She really would. And I'm not trying to have that happen. That is not a good day when that happens with my mother. So that's why I keep this path. There's nothing wrong with it. Dark. Sometimes dark things, different kind of dark powers. If you want to call powers or intuition, but it can help people. It can help you sense danger, and I can help other people sense danger. I can use it for good. There's nothing wrong with using things for good. And I'm hoping that my energy that from these live streams and just the videos and stuff reaches people to do positive things. Because we need more positive. And I'm all for balance. Even if you're dark, nobody wants it all dark. And nobody wants it all light. Nobody does. There would be no free will. How can you choose what's good or bad if you don't see it? But then in the same token, I guess, I would say it's good to have self-awareness. And it's, I've heard all my life, learn from the example of others. So learning from the example of others is good because there's a lot of dark people that have fallen. My mother fell in a lot of times, in different lifetimes. I've learned from her mistakes. And I choose to stay with her because I love her. And even though she has this darkness to her, I don't judge her. Because nor should you judge anybody, because if you start judging, that comes out as a sin too, friends. It sure does. You should never forsake your brother or anybody in God's name. And don't ever say anything in God's name. Oh my God, don't ever, because you just get a whole bunch of problems from God. God does not like that. God speaks for his own damn self, and that's it. And he is the ruler of the realm. He's the one that creates life. He's the one that created your life. He's the one that allowed me to be born. So why would I forsake him? Why would I sit there and be greedy if I can't get a certain purse, or if I can't go see a concert or something? I guess if you're going to say in these kind of circumstances, I would never blame him or try to take money out of someone's pocket or just do nasty things to get it either, because sometimes these are lessons. And you got people going around just stealing stuff, going on all these different drugs and all that. He wants you to stay on a path that's good and righteous. He really does. And you could be righteous and be dark. This is the thing. I'm dark and righteous. I just want everyone to be happy. That's it. I want everyone to be happy and everyone to go to enlightenment. Because this is why all these animals are getting abused. That's why all these people are getting abused. And I see it. Sometimes I see it in my dreams. I see sometimes women screaming as they're being raped. It's terrible. I see it and I don't like to see it. I want to unsee it, but sometimes I just can't. And it hurts me. It hurts me to feel it and to see whatever's going on. I see heinous acts every day. I block it and I try to block it. I do. Because I sometimes can't. I can't bear to see it anymore. But yeah, there's things going on. And that's why I say there's things going on. I see a lot of stuff. I seen yesterday it was a light skinned girl about 16, 17. She could look that way. She could be older. I don't know. And she was being beaten and raped. And this is sometimes what I see, and I have to block it. And it was by somebody from the light. They literally abducted her. I couldn't tell you which country. I don't know. But wherever country it was not right. I will tell you that much. And people say that I could be dark. I could never do that. I'm a parent myself. And for anybody to be able to do that is beyond me. They are the ultimate evil in my book. I don't know any dark entity that's associated with me that would allow that to be done to their people. I don't. And sometimes that's why these dark entities torture people. Because they don't like it. Some dark entities just, they don't like it. They don't like people that do these things. Generally, there's people that are wannabes. And they think it's fun. And they torture people because they want it to bend their own will. And I don't like that. It's not their realm. And if you go and you do stuff that's out of your realm, bad things can happen, and that's when beings will come and visit you from that realm and start torturing you themselves. They'll plague you in your dreams. You'll have just nasty things that happen to you that shouldn't have happened to you. They generally do it to really bad people, though, like your cartel people, your people that are in gangs, and things like that. Generally, those are the people that darkness is after, because they got free reign to do whatever they want, because God has no ability to do anything to stop them. Because if he did, it would tarnish his soul. And we can't have God's soul tarnished. Because he has to remain pure. He has to. If he doesn't remain pure, it's going to be bad. And here it is. Ball rog. But yeah, so I'm hoping one day I don't have to see these kind of events. But lately I've been seeing them more and more. Sometimes I see little kids being taken. Sometimes they're little, I just, at times I see that too. And it's terrible. But there's nothing I can do because it's free will. You're allowed to go take a child, torture them, abuse them, rape them, and kill them in this realm. These are things that are allowed in this realm. Is it right? Hell no, it's not right. Do people still do it? Yes, they do. And they do it because they feel it's cool. And they want the upper hand. They want the power. You're not getting really any true power. Your soul's being stripped from you. And then when your redemption does come, it's It's never good. And it'll never be good for you. Because these are things that aren't allowed in any realm. But people, they make their own darkness. And that's the thing. Everybody says it's evil and they blame it on this person or that demon. It's not the demon that did it. Humans can become the demons. And we have in many ways. Oh my God, have we became demons in many ways. Because these things just shouldn't be allowed at all, but we can't nobody could stop it. Nobody. This is what's allowed. This gives you your free will to choose if you're gonna maliciously murder or if you're gonna side with free will. This is what your choices are in this realm. I side with free will. I believe everybody should be peaceful in their free will, and it's beautiful. Life is not bad, not at all. I don't know why you want to go torture somebody, take all their money, and just to get your money. Because if you really tried and you put positive energy out there, you would get money. You absolutely would. Because even the person, let's say you decided, and this happens a lot. I do see visions of this a lot. Where they make other people bend their will. All the time. And I see families being held hostage a lot of times in my dreams. And people with a heavy heart having to kill. And I will tell you, that sin is not on the person that killed that person. Even though you literally sat there and got someone else to do it, does not make you unaccountable for that sin. It's the person that is enforcing it. And the person that actually, when that person dies of a horrible death, the person responsible for that in the end with death with the Reaper literally is the person that made the call. So none of these guys are getting off easy in death. And they will be in eternal suffering. And there is a special place in hell for these guys. There is. There totally is. I mean, I guess they should just enjoy their last wine or whatever they're going to have. And when they get sick, God totally is not going to heal them. And God is not bringing them back. Because He wants you to die. If you're doing this much bad stuff around the world, eventually that's how He gets His revenge. So, and it does happen. Trust me, it does. I got this sculpted. It kind of looks, it's rough, but it's going to look a lot better. And then just get this that way. There's a lot of fire in his stuff, and then I got to do the scales. Because there's a big fire here, so I got to sculpt this. But yeah, that's the big secret of the universe. Just try to be a decent person, you know, enjoy what was given to you for the moment, and just don't be an a-hole. And don't judge everyone around you. Because God does not like that. These religions that go around and judge, and you got to listen to them because they said this and that. They can say whatever they want. They're human. I can't even speak for God. Nobody can speak for God. God is God. And God is the reason that you're going to live or die one day. And when that happens, you better have a damn good reason why He should allow you to live. And that's what I'm saying. Because death is very peaceful. At least it is for me. My mom came and got me from the abyss, and we were chilling. Straight up chilling. I enjoyed death because I get to actually see my mom in actual form. I wanted just to stay. She told me that I could not. So, this is where I'm at. But I know that death will eventually come for me later on, and I will be healthy. And I will just be dying of old age. I do know that. Because I just turned 51, and I'm in better health than I have been in my entire life at 51. I could have had a heart problem. Could have. They ended up doing jaw surgery, getting rid of the infection, so it did not go to my heart, and it was just something they found when they were doing dental work. That's God. God wanted to make sure that I would live. He wanted to make sure that everything was Gucci with me. And I'm grateful for him. I'm grateful that he loves me enough to where he made sure I was good. And he made sure my mom was able to come get me, and so we can chill. This is the things that's why I'm not even afraid. But I will tell you, when you do die, any personal demons that you have not, that you created on your own with your own thoughts, will come to you. If you don't let some of these things go, like, let's say you're not supposed to be with somebody. You were totally meant to be somebody else, but you keep it going with this other fella or lady. And you have all these regrets because you feel that it should have been that way. You're going to see that person in the abyss. And it's not going to be that person. That's going to be the messed up part. It's going to be a demon that's testing you. And you're going to see that person. I got it kind of easy because my mom's a shadow demon. So I just see her. We just straight up chill. And I find it beautiful. But some people don't because they have all this self-regret. And the thing is, don't feel that way. Don't. It's not that bad. Just go with the flow. Let it all go. You gotta let it all go. Once you get there, you gotta let it go. And sometimes it helps in death when you pray. I like when you just recite the Bible. Alright. What are we talking about now? Can you answer it? Do you have a question? When a light being is watching a dark being on the front head, and when a dark being is watching light being, what do they see? I mean, that's up to what they see. I mean, I can't tell you what other beings see. It's light and dark has their own categories, and it has to exist. The light doesn't exist without the dark. The dark doesn't exist without the light. They see what they see, and they have their own mission. And nobody can ever know. And that's it. You're never going to know. And it's probably better not to know, honestly. I will tell you that. Sometimes I don't want to know these things. I don't want to see people murdering people, but I see it. And I see it to warn people, and I think that's why I was given this ability, because I don't want it. I do not want it at all. There's nothing about this ability that makes me happy at all. I'm just sculpting his scales now on this arm. Having this ability makes me sad and makes me doubt humanity. I just don't understand how people want to They want to kill beautiful things and torture them for no reason. I mean, it doesn't stop with dogs. Oh no, it does not stop with dogs with these guys. Dogs are the first because they represent love. And they're the first ones that actually notice them. So that's why they get hung. I've seen things where they're hanging up puppies. This is why the dark beings do it. They do it and they work through people, and they do it to prove a point. And people let them in and go with it, and they become servants of the dark. You can become servants of the dark just giving into dark thoughts. And a lot of people, that's how it starts. That really is, honestly, that's how all of this starts. People they think it's cool, and they worship all these beings that's not. I mean, if you're from the light and you don't understand, your best bet is to pray. That is literally your best bet. You should not even delve into anything like this because it's not your realm. And there's things there that will take advantage of you. And it's terrible, but they do. And people let it in and they think it's cool. They think it's cool to murder. They think it's cool to starve people. They think it's cool to do a lot of stuff. And it's not. When I see people in need, I always try to help them. Always. Because you don't know when you're looking into the face of God and when you're not. That's the thing. And God, a lot of times, his face, I like to call him the God of many faces. God could be many faces to you in the same day. I don't know if that blows your guys' mind. But every day you see God. Every day. And every day he comes to you in different ways through people. And he wants to see your reaction of how you are going to react to that person. Sometimes God can do the same thing as the dark demons. Whatever the light can do, the dark can do also, folks. Generally, God comes through you in the face of the innocent. God, that's his, I guess you want to say that's his area. God comes to you in the sick and innocent and meek. And a lot of times darkness comes to you in the strong and the lead. That's why it's so important to help those in need. And to truly want to help those in need. God comes to you through animals. Through your own animal. That's why they call them spirit animals. And that's it. You're mean to that dog, that cat. I mean, that's it. When I was younger, there was some friends of mine. I will tell you a story about a cat that led to an imprisonment when I was younger. He put a kitten in the microwave. I did not know about it. I came back and the kitten was okay. I told his mom and this other stuff, and he was doing some bad stuff, and I stopped associating with him. And he was dealing with drugs and guns. Anyways, I had no association with him after that. Was just it. There was no more after that for me. So anywho, I stopped all of it. And when I did, there was a time where he was selling his guns, and he It was, he got away with it a lot. Like, he would sell his drugs and guns and he had his own little people and he thought he was on top of the world. Then one day, he sold drugs to a cop. And the thing was, is these guys were very well trained not to find if it's we're very well trained to know if it's a cop or not. But they did not know. And when they sold the guns to the cops, it was, of course, machine guns and all this stuff. And he ended up going to jail. And he was spending a long time. I think he was getting out when he was 60. And it was just the most unlikely circumstance, and no one could say why. It was just he came across this cop, and it was a sale he didn't think he was going to do. But God could come to you in these ways also. But first they come in innocent, and he tries to give you direction. And then after that, that's how God gets you. He can inspire cops to just see you one day. So, that's how the corrupted, I guess, are taken. And I did write to him, and when he went to prison for a little bit, because, we were friends for a long time, and you're not supposed to judge. You cannot judge. You cannot judge anything anybody does. But he told me that I should stop writing to him because he did a horrible thing. And he just didn't want, and he understood that he was wrong. So, and he told me he was sorry. And that's the last time I ever seen him. So, that's the story I got with that. And God removed him. And that's how God removes people. The more you run from God, the more he takes the one thing from you that's going to get you in trouble. And he brings attention to your situation. Some people, they keep doing it, that are being forced into it, and nobody sees them. But God makes you be seen. So I guess that's the big thing about God. I mean, and I'm not saying that his holy people always are great. We got priests out there it's a haunted place too. I want to visit one day. There was a priest that was having sex with the nuns years ago. And God, I want to say it was 1300s. And it's and every time he didn't want anybody to know he was having sex with these nuns. Never wanted anybody to know. So anywho, he goes and they would give birth to the babies, and he would personally murder every baby, and there was a graveyard of over 100 babies. Now, that could be good. I mean, obviously it was an evil act, but he was a priest, so nobody said anything. He died mysteriously and suffered. And through his dreams, there was accounts where they said that he would scream in his sleep. The babies and God visited him every day to remind him of the babies that were dead around him that he personally murdered. So this is things that go on in realms also, because they make you aware they're there, and they know that you did something bad. So that is, I guess we'll call repentance, or I guess the torture. And sometimes when they leave you alive, it's the worst. Because to leave somebody truly alive after all that God makes you just literally. This is orange. This here. God makes you think about what you did, and he lets these people torture you in your dreams. This is what God does, and I mean, I don't blame God for this. I honestly, there's a lot of orange in this, so I'm going to start with this orange because I got to start shading. But I don't blame God. I would too. You got a priest out there going rogue, and as this damn priest going rogue, he's murdering. The ultimate sin is babies. Sitting there murdering babies. Not to mention the witches. So sometimes God has to do things and send people after his own thing. Because, dark people do things, but they make penance with him, and this is how they do it. God asked them. They say, I know you know what you did wrong, but can you do this for me? And they do it. And that's generally how they go and how these hauntings happen. Hauntings are so pivotal because, and God sometimes doesn't let you pass through to the other side. Because this is totally God's dominion. If you're living and breathing and you got a vessel, it's totally his dominion, and you're only in that vessel because he allowed it. And I understand. I'm totally with God on that one. Totally with God. Because people can be awful. And I mean awful towards one another. Anybody that can torture these people and animals like that, nobody should be around them. Nobody. They are just beyond anything that's right and righteous. They totally are. I'm starting this flame here around this guy with pastels. I'm starting to flame with orange because there's orange in here. And I'm using my chalk because it's really good for shading. You gotta excuse my sniffles. I'm sorry. I have really bad allergies. And this really bothers me at work because people always ask me if I got COVID, and I'm just tired of hearing about if I have COVID every damn day. This is what they do. They bother me with that. And I told them people are allowed to have allergies in the world. But in my line of work, if you go to work with sniffles, people are always asking you if you're sick. But yeah, I guess that about sums up that question. But don't fear any evil. You walk through the valley of darkness, fear no evil, because whatever's there is there for a purpose. And that is why it is put like that in the Bible. I was told that from God. The evil that we perceive as evil, from what people tell us is evil, is there in that path because God chose it to be there. And if God chose some darkness, if you see a demon in your path, you're supposed to recite that, because if it makes you feel better, if it gives you strength, it's to help you in your journey in the afterworld. It totally is. And if you embrace it in the right way, it's very fun. It really is. God is a goat. He really is. He trumps us all. In all your mistakes and wisdom that you acquire, he knows who to use to get his will done to protect his innocent. A lot of times, these trained killers that maybe have gone rogue, that did things because people forsake them and told them to do it, and then they realize it was wrong, sometimes God hides them in the past. I mean, it's kind of funny how sometimes someone from the military can go rogue and nobody knows who they are. With all of our technology, nobody could find them. I mean, think about it. Nobody could find these people, and we got AI and everything else. God's helping them because he's seeing that these are trained warriors that know how to kill. They were forced to kill for false orders, and they just want to go out with a bang. And these guys fear no death, and God uses them in this realm just for his bidding and to help. And you know what? It's not a bad offer. It's not at all. They get hidden. They do. And people think it's horrible when they get hidden, but is it horrible if God has a plan? God really, he's a good general. Don't discredit what God has in mind. He's a very good general. He cares about us in this realm, and he knows who helps and doesn't help. Some mercenaries are always kept alive because God wants certain people taken out to protect innocent people. Some vengeance he lets slide. I will tell you that. Because vengeance in itself is not bad, it's within the right context. If God wants it to happen, vengeance is going to happen. I don't get in between God and his vengeance. If God wants vengeance to happen, then that's what he wants. And I don't argue. But I will say all the people that are very comfortable in their little cars, not caring about the poor and this and that, they'll have their day. God don't like that either. Because you need to be out there if you are blessed with having money and you need to help others somehow. You have to. It's a requirement to keep in his good blessings. I help, and God doesn't expect you to give up all your possessions at once. He does not. Don't think that. He doesn't. He's a very cool dude. He just expects if you have a lot of money, per se. But, you know, you have lots of money. You're blessed. God bless you. You got all this money, you doing good in the world. Don't be greedy and hoard it. That's all. If it's within your scope to help someone, help them. And don't question it and say that they should do this or they should do that. Why should I help them? I worked hard for my money. Fuck that person. I've heard that from people. There's people that go around saying that, and they don't want to admit to it, but they do. And the thing is he sees through the eyes of all these people that are suffering. So all the governments that go and just do stuff to the innocent, he's there. He's there watching, full throttle. Full, wanting to know what is wrong with you. And this is what happens. And I'm using the soft pastels now. It calms me. All this drawing. I like the drawing. But yeah. So I just urge you guys, just be kind. Be kind to something in your path that needs help. You know, even if it's a kind word and you have no money, If someone's starving and you could give them a sandwich, give them a sandwich. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about going and giving your home mortgage up and this and that. God doesn't want you to do that. He just wants you to be aware and help. And I do. I try to help all I can. If I know someone doesn't have food and we have an abundance, I get a box. And I get a box ready and I give it to them. I gave a box of food yesterday on my birthday because my younger son came and he's right now staying with his dad. He's 21 now. But his dad was low on food for helping him out. And I just threw a box of food together, gave him shrimp and all this stuff, and said, "Here, give this to your dad." These are the things we're supposed to be doing. Yeah, he's my ex-husband. Yeah, we had words. Yeah, I'm married again. But so what? My current husband doesn't care. He said, "Okay." At least, he doesn't care. And he wants to, and they're, somewhat friends. But this is what responsible people do because this is God's will for us to help people and to be less selfish and not be in ourselves and not be in our bubble. And I think that we get so comfortable, and a lot of people are more spoiled because people are brought up with less responsibility of this. They're brought up to not care about other people, and they're brought up to be selfish, and no one's told the word no. So a lot of times when certain situations happen, you didn't get your way and you feel heartache, it's because God's showing you a lesson. And he'll show you a lesson by sometimes when things end badly for you, for any situation. Because he wants obedience. That's just the way he wants it. And if you go over and over again, and let's say you're just one of these people that are toxic, going around thinking you're the best in a relationship, he's going to constantly give you toxic people just because he don't like your ways. Because true love is, to find your true companion and true love is only through God. I just stopped dating because I already knew the rule. Knew it. So, I mean, I knew I was not, when me and my ex-husband broke up, that I was not going to find anybody till God deemed it ready. I waited about 2 years, and I was doing other things. I'm always busy. I'm at work. I help the sick, help the elderly. I got lots of stuff going on. I didn't focus on what my love life was going to be or not be. And I was okay with that. Then one day, my husband just appeared, and I was like, okay. And it just appeared. He brought him. But if you're one of these contemptuous people that are going after people for big cars and a lot of money, you will meet that person, but they're going to use you for sex because God doesn't like when you use people. So that's why a lot of people get used over and over and over again. That I do know. And I'm not about money. I've turned down people that have had money that try to date me. And they said why. And they showed me their bank account. And when I was younger, and I said, because I'm just not about that. And I'm not trying to have that in my life. And I ended it. And they told me I was stupid. And of course, they found someone else to use and have sex with. But I was not going to be a part of it. There was a guy that was a millionaire that wanted to have sex with me. I would not do it. And now, from sources I've heard, he ended up getting a divorce. He ended up having a heart attack. And he's not having a good time up in the nursing home. Sometimes I think God keeps people alive in these nursing homes just to torture them, especially the rich. The rich and selfish. He likes to call them the unrighteous. And these are not my words. These are his words. I just say okay. That's it. Because there's nothing you could do to argue at this point. So I will tell you guys, if you're obsessed with money, good luck. Because enjoy it while you're in good health, because you probably got 20 to 30 years before your body falls apart and lose every dime of it, and he will make sure that somebody takes all of your money. That's generally what he does to that. That's usually the punishment for these kind of things. Or you'll give birth to somebody that's actually a nice peacemaker that will do what you should have done. This happens a lot through bad bloodlines. I'm one of the ones through bad bloodlines that has been chosen to be the peacemaker from God. That's why when I die, I always come back until the time I'm meant to die. And I always come back pretty healthy, except for allergies. I wish God could do something about allergies. I really do. All this damn pollen, sometimes I enjoy winter better. But I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm just spitting facts. And it's not that horrible to be a good person. You put on your suit, you have over $50,000, you see someone that's homeless, buy them a sandwich, for Christ's sake. I mean, come on. Is it really that hard? People that are rich ask for a lot. They do. But they wouldn't spit on someone if some of them if they were on fire. And I come from a rich family. I do know this because of my uncle. He was big on social media. He's almost dead. But his first wife, he had $2 million. His daughter and wife took a lot of that. He, even though he had perfect health, jogged every day. My uncle now has heart problems, and he's in a nursing home, and his money disappeared, and nobody cares. They just go drop off money, and he deals with the nursing staff. This is what happens to you when you're old, when you get like that. It really does. And I will tell you that. But this is turning out to be very beautiful. Very beautiful. Moving over and getting his scales done. I haven't even started my happy shading, folks. You know I love my happy shading. This is like one of my most happiest things to do. It calms me so much. I love it. Alright. Go put a little red up here. There's a little yellow and stuff in this flame. There we go. Here we go. There. Some red in these scales. I know the picture doesn't depict the red, but red would make him look so beautiful. To me, he's red. I'm probably after this going to take my dog down the park and probably call my son. Find out what he's doing. since I hung up on him, because sometimes he gets on my nerves too. But they know that I do this when I'm live streaming and they call. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna grab this black one again, because I really want to define these eyes. I'm just gonna make his eyes black here. It would be just a lot easier. I'm just gonna give him black eyes. I mean, he got all these flames and stuff around him. There we go. This is just a whole lot easier. And then right in the middle here, we're gonna make this black. Add black a little. Bring this up there. I'm going to do this with a shade around here. Okay, this is much better. I gotta shade this out. Alright. I'll put this back in my soft pastels. Now I got this to this point. I'm gonna start shading Balrog from Lord of the Rings. And I'm gonna show you how nice this can look. And you don't want to overdo it. It's like cooking. You put too much damn salt in it, nobody wants to eat it. Same thing with paintings. If you overdo it, it's not good. You want to put the pastels in the areas so it comes kind of out like this. You want to shade around this so it looks good, and do it in circles. Circle this around. There we go. Because you want to make it picturesque. You want to make it like pop out. And you do all these pastels in the background like this to make it pop out. And when you sketch it by hand with a pencil, it holds these details. And I have like the black in there with the soft pastels because I wanted that to kind of stay. And I wanted these different, I wanted the dark and light in here. So this is kind of how you want to do it. And it looks so pretty like this when you do this. Oh my god, it looks gorgeous. I did not think I could execute this in an hour and a half, I'll tell you that much. It's just incredible looking. But here's Balrog. And all I did was sketch it and put the soft pastels and the hard pastels together. That's it. I'm thinking about... I got gray. I think I'm gonna take gray and go like this. Just to give him a little bit more density. You can play around with these pastels once you get it into picture form. This is how you make it look like a portrait, folks. This is exactly how you could get anything to look portrait-like. And pastels are the way to go for portrait-like paintings. I was doing regular paintings for a while, which I probably will eventually do that. I'm just kind of trying to practice my way with these pastels. Because a lot of artists do use these pastels and are nice. And you just rub it in little details where you want extra details. I want a little gold dark around here. And he's a demon. I mean, come on here. We want him to look a little bit sinister. Because that's what, he scares people. You want it to be looking a little scary. There we go. And now I'm just going to rub some dark stuff around his wings. Just a little bit. I'm going to put some details in his wing right here. Just to bring a little dark in this area. And all you got to do is pull it over. It doesn't matter what you're drawing. If you can doodle and sketch a little, this is a good method. And it does make things look beautiful. Alright, I'm rubbing it in circles because this is what you want for the picture look. You want that professional touch to things when you do it. You don't want it to look all crafty. I mean, you put your work into it. You sat there and I was on here, an hour and 20 minutes so far? You don't want it to look like shit when you could just do something so simple once you did such a good job hand sketching it with a pencil. I mean, come on. You want to be like, this is what I drew. Look how pretty it is. And you can make it and look like Etsy or anything you want. Okay, that looks much better. I'm going to put this here. I keep all my little pastels, but here you go. Balrog from Lord of the Rings. A badass demon. Gandalf, I'm thinking about doing Gandalf too. I do love Gandalf. He's my favorite wizard. Love Gandalf. It's just incredible. But we got Balrog for now. And I'm going to go ahead and call my older son that wants to know something about, I don't know, probably trying to take me out to eat. Then I go ahead and tell him I got to take my dog out, Mr. Chong. Thank you for listening, and if you subscribe to me, thank you. And I do tarot card readings. I do tell the truth, though. I'm not going to lie to you. I am going to call you out on if you're just being a horrible person or if I do see bad things that you may be judged on. And it's okay if you're hiding things that are dark or whatever, but I can't help what I see because I tell the truth. And I'm over here to help people. I am not over here to try to get rich. I will tell you that much. Nobody is a YouTube creator thinking they're going to get rich. It happens or it doesn't happen. If you make some friends along the way, you do. It's just what it is. That's why I work a medical job. And I will keep my medical job because this is my hobby over here. If my hobby turns into something more, then it turns into something more. But I urge everybody to go to school or job training. Do not think you're going to be a content creator and make money off the bat. You may never make money, but have fun with it because it'll make you popular in your friend group. You can say, yeah, come join my channel. I did this cool stunt or I did this cool thing. But it's something you could do that's a hobby that's free. And it's a free hobby. Honestly, if you think about it, how many hobbies out there are not free? And that's fine if you just keep it that way. But I'll probably be on later. I'm going to go and take Chong for a walk and try to get some nature pictures for my photography. Because that's one of my passions is photography. I did not go to school for it. I went to school for medical and other things. But I feel, and YouTube, anybody could be anything if they desire to be. And that's true to life. You could be anything you want to be. You just got to do it. And you got to have faith in yourself. And I will be back. If you're subscribed to me, it'll just pop up when I'm back. So I hope everybody's doing well in their lives. And I'm going to get going and call my son Brandon.